Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. This is a pretty damn exciting day because we have just had a major lore drop on the PTR that is following Xal'atath. Now, remember that black screen that was supposed to be in a cinematic from the stuff I covered in the last video? Yeah. It's now here. First though, today's video is actually brought to you by, me, the new show that I do. That dick out of the blue logo who's probably dropped a link down below in the comments. We have just got a video up covering the moving of one of Cyberpunk 2077's main writers over to Blizzard, as well as Activision selling a smiley face and the Atlas situation. So, if you want to see what's going on and check it out, then you can get going over there. But okay, let's get into this. So the background is pretty simple. We end up finding Xal'atath in 815, and she's weakened. We build up her strength by finding 3 relics that the Naga are interested in, ostensibly, according to her, so that we can use them against N'Zoth. Well, after getting the 3 of them, we go to the Crucible of Storms and we begin the ritual. Now, from the last video, we knew about the gift of N'Zoth, but we didn't really know how we'd actually get it. Well, here's how.
Hear me, God of the Deep. I have brought you the Opener, the bringer of truths, the torch that lights the way. Honor our bargain. Free me to find my own fate.
Go, but the blade must remain to serve my will.
A fair exchange. Shadows guide you, my dear friend. We will meet again. I am certain of it.
I have dreamed your destiny, mortal. The hour is close at hand. That which was sunken shall rise. All that were sleeping shall be awakened. Receive my gift and see all truths before you.
Yeah, so that was really cool. While I do have another N'Zoth video that is breaking down some new quotes that are different to what's in this video, and this alone itself is really big. I mean, there's just so much to cover with this new lore development. So first off, right, that's N'Zoth that we see. We're actually told by Blizzard in the past that part of N'Zoth is in the Crucible of Storms. Well, that's it. Now, you'll notice a similarity, of course, between this big eye and the ones from Ashara Warbringers, but remember that this is not literally all of N'Zoth. The old gods are far larger than their manifestations that we actually have, fought in the past. Remember that as an example. Yogg-Saron is so deeply ingrained into the world that ripping him out would have risked killing Azeroth. So the small manifestation that we fought, well, it's not really a massive deal in comparison to the whole of the old god. Instead, I would speculate that that is, in his dormant state, that was the most power he could muster, and that his overall plan probably would have been to use Loken and crew to, empower him up. And likely be a lot bigger. So while we do see a bit of N'Zoth here, actual N'Zoth far larger. Okay. That was also Xal'atath in her full body, not the spectral version that we saw earlier on in the quest line. So she's now a fully sentient character. She's able to take her role in the story. She has self-determination. She can do whatever she wants. She is free from the dagger and free from her deal. And, like with a lot of new characters in WoW, Blizzard, they want to make new ones. It's like with Garrosh. So maybe 2 expansions in the future will either be teaming up with her or fighting against her, and we can look back to this moment as the one that kicked off really a main chapter in her story and of that of the game. Xal'atath has her freedom. Now, she tells N'Zoth that she has brought the Opener, the bringer of truths, the torch that lights the way, and she asks N'Zoth to honor their bargain and to free her. And he does, but he asks for the blade in return. Yeah, so Xal'atath and the Black Blade of the Empire are now separate things. What does all this mean? Well, first, Xal'atath back in the day was an old god. So in the days of the Black Empire, she was overwhelmed by the others and trapped in this blade. Now that means that the blade therefore is capable of holding the essence of an old god. Now, given how N'Zoth is a fan of deception, it does make sense to me that he maybe created that blade, and perhaps that would make N'Zoth and Xal'atath old enemies who have recently worked together. you see, while Xal'atath may have overall been the weakest of the Azerothian old gods, N'Zoth was the weakest of those who would remain, with his cunning and his intellect being his real source of power, not his strength. So in a way, you actually sort of see the two weakest old gods remain, while all the other big strong ones have been defeated. Now, Xal'atath gets her freedom in return for the opener, the bringer of truths, the torch that lights the way. What does all that mean? Well, all those words are capitalized, and looking at the cutscene, well, it seems to be you. Xal'atath doesn't bring anything else along with her, and the blade is referred to separately. So, how are you the opener? Well, it's pretty clear that we've been generally useful to the Void. We introduced the Void to the Emerald Nightmare, we defeated the Legion, their big enemy, we introduced, helped the Void Elves, we trapped the Titans in the seat of the Pantheon, we locked Illidan away, and we killed Zira, the Prime Naru, and then, of course, all of our faction fighting has again been very useful. And we've also we've just allowed N'Zoth and the Naga to sneak up against us. Plus, we also, in this quest, empower N'Zoth seemingly with these various Void artifacts that we collected for Xal'atath. Now, going back to Opener, well, we could have literally opened the pathway of corruption of Azeroth by introducing the Void into the heart of the Dream. We could, inadvertently maybe break the final seal of N'Zoth's prison. We know we've already weakened it. As for Bringer of Truths, well, I'll cover that one in a little bit. And then finally, we have the torch that lights the way. So this is an interesting one. Il'gynoth tells us that there are 5 torches to light our path and 5 keys to open our way. Well, if the torches refer to living people, like life burning out like a candle, well, yeah, then the torches could be people. The keys could be the Pillar of Creation, so the player character, along with 4 others, could play a major role in what is to come. Now, I doubt this purely is a resolution of that Il'gynoth line. I think it's a lot more likely that this is an addition to that mystery, confirming that we are one of the torches. Maybe the opener is one, maybe the speaker is 2 with Magni, and maybe there are some other ones. People who play prophetic roles in what is to come. Anyhow, N'Zoth tells Xal'atath that she may go, but that the blade must remain to serve his will. Now, this is very interesting. The blade is almost certainly more than just an empty vessel. It clearly does have some sort of power and indeed a place in N'Zoth's plan. We know that the blade can contain the essence of an old god, and we know that he eventually has it end up in Sylvanas' hands, with her thinking that it is the key to the Horde's future war efforts. Now, originally I thought that Sylvanas would go on her own against the Void, kind of representing death, maybe trying to use this blade to capture N'Zoth's essence. Well, we really see that this blade is all a part of his plan, and that does make you wonder, is he whispering to her? Is he trying to manipulate her? We still don't know who whispered to Vol'jin in order to have Sylvanas be the war chief, and I actually think that most of us probably don't want it to be N'Zoth who whispered to Vol'jin, but this does kind of support that theory that he was behind her ascension, and now he's putting this blade in her hand to further manipulate her. So we know that N'Zoth is able to get this blade into her hands somehow. We don't know exactly how, but that's something that the lore is going to expand on, and I imagine the future war campaigns will probably cover that. As for Xal'atath, well, she then leaves through a void portal. Now, there is a line data-mined about the cosmos being open to her, and it seems to me to be decently clear that she's just off to wander through space. She is now free, presumably from whatever agreement she had with N'Zoth, and that means that she is a bit of a wild card. Now, considering how she was fine to work to free N'Zoth, it really doesn't seem like she's a friend to our cause. She could be gathering a void army, maybe she is uniting the various ethereals. Blizzard could actually use this lore as a jumping off point for a void invasion expansion, or maybe a space exploration expansion. I would love to see space exploration, actually. Outland was quite incredible for its time, and I would love to see Blizzard go for something alien with their current art prowess. They can do the traditional stuff fantastically as shown by BFA, and I'd love to see that be applied to the mysterious. With all that done, N'Zoth speaks to us. He says that he has dreamed our destiny, that the hour is close at hand, that the sunken shall rise, the sleeping shall wake, and that we will receive the gift. And with that, we receive the gift of N'Zoth. Now, he tells us that this will show us the truth. Bear in mind that earlier on, he called us the bringer of truths. So what could those truths be? Well, as I covered in the first video about Xal'atath and the gift, that gift gives you a third eye, and it lets you see what other players have the gift. It can permanently be removed by talking to Brother Pike, so I really think it could be a few different things. First, if the player decides to keep it, well, in that case, they literally are agreeing to work with N'Zoth. No doubt about it, just like how this expansion lets you choose between Sylvanas and Saurfang, this is letting you choose between N'Zoth and your people. and I really can't wait to see the payoff for that. No doubt it's going to be quite a challenge to do for Blizzard. Also, by calling us the Bringer of Truths, he is trying to prime us to see whatever this eye shows us as being truth. So I mostly see this as a test of allegiance and a tool of manipulation, with N'Zoth having a Lich King-like plan to form a crack team of champions for his cause. So, Sylvanas is basically about to be played hard, it would seem. The player character is majorly important to the old god story, it would seem, and Xal'atath could be off to form a cosmic army. Maybe she's just off to a gap here in Australia. It's hard to tell, but Blizzard can really do whatever they want with her. So, there you go. It's a big expansion to the lore. We're going to see Nazjatar soon, and after that, well, I mean, look at that BlizzCon tease. They have teased N'Zoth in this expansion. It could be that something else different will happen, and I mean, certainly if they wanted to expand the scope of the game, yeah, having Xal'atath descend from space or us going off to somewhere completely different and new certainly should be a way to do that. So, there you go. That is the new lore. If you want more content from the channel today, then you can check out the stuff on the news channel, which is linked below. And, I mean, there's also a recent video that I did about Activision, which I think could be of interest to you, that it was published last night. Pretty late, so you may have missed it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.